Welcome to the Los Angeles City Section Baseball Podcast. Connor Morissette and Alex Scar. Alex, we're here at USC. We just saw D1 semifinal action. First game, Verdugo Hills gets the win. In the second game, Carson is victorious over Marshall. We just sat through all seven innings of that one. Takeaways.
Carson and Marshall, one of the better games we saw. As if any of them were slouchy games. These were all fantastic. We were treated to yet another one-run ball game here. Carson picking up a run in the bottom of the fifth inning to really take that 3-2 lead. Saw some really good work at Andrew Paceno out of the bullpen there for Carson. So kind of a team effort. We expected to see Eric Herrera pitch a little bit deeper in this ball game for the Colts. Turns out he only went about an inning and a third before they went to the bullpen, and then Paceno came in, I think, in the third inning. Really just kind of shut them down. So what we thought we were going to see out of Carson, we did see. Good defense. There was a really great play out there in left field, throwing out a guy trying to score from home on a sac fly.
Steven Franco, shout out to him, great play.
Yeah, heck of an arm out of that kid. Nice tag behind the plate from Juan Camarena. So what we thought we'd see out of Carson, a complete ball club, a really good baseball team. They brought it today, and Marshall, man, they took almost all the way down to the wire. Marshall brought it. We didn't really see a whole lot of Marshall baseball, but I think they really kind of proved they belonged where they were. And earlier today, we had another D1 game where Verdugo Hills clinched their first ever title chance,
yes,
I should say.
And yeah, no, you nail it. And what I'm really happy about is I think we got the two best teams.
Yeah,
D1.
right.
Verdugo Hills was a 6 seed, Carson was the 1 seed, so everyone pretty much knew that they were a top team. And take nothing away from Marshall. They played Carson really close.
Yeah, they did.
I'd slate Marshall probably at number 3. I thought that they had a really fantastic season, and seeing them today, they really could have won this game. It wasn't like Carson outplayed them. If anything, I thought Marshall maybe outplayed Carson a tiny bit. Carson's winning
could have gone
run,
either way. Yeah.
Came on a wild pitch, pass ball, whatever you want to call it. Early on, I mean, Marshall was swinging the bat really well, and then they just got quiet. But Carson was fantastic all year. Felt slighted not making the Open Division, so they're in the championship in D1 making an appearance at Dodger Stadium, which is so great for them because they've had a tough past couple of years. But then Verdugo Hills as well. I think they're deserving as a 6 seed.
Yeah, Verdugo, they really brought the bats today. I mean, they scored, I think, 4 runs on Taft. Taft was really held in check by Nick Masumoto.
Got some shenanigans going on. All right.
As is classic on SCPI podcasts, we got interviews and all kinds of photo bombs. Hey, man, when you clinch a title and go to Dodger Stadium, you can do whatever you want. These kids are having a great time. I think they've earned it. You know, I mean, This is going to be a lot of fun. But they got a test with Verdugo. Charlie Roca was walked intentionally twice here today. They didn't want to face him. I'm kind of interested to see what Carson wants to do. If they want to face Charlie Roca, are they going to give him stuff to hit? I'm really excited for this one. Who knew a couple of weeks ago when we saw Carson and Verdugo that we'd be seeing a preview of the city title? So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we just took a random trip up there to the East Valley and figured, hey, what the hell? We'll watch some Saturday afternoon baseball.
I think we're getting treated to more than our fair share of entertainment right now.
I think we got a happy Carson group behind us, and of course they're very happy after clinching a Dodger Stadium trip. But that is probably the Kennedy one.
Kennedy one's darn good. I mean, this one, they're lit up. But the Kennedy one was synchronized. They were swimming through the frame. I don't know. I don't know which one's better.
We'll have to watch back. We'll have to watch the film. So we'll get back to you on who's better. All right. Let's get back to what we're talking about. So just my main point with D1, I think we got the two best teams.
I think so.
And you brought up Charlie Roca. No one's been pitching to him.
No.
In his first at-bat, Taft had 2 outs. He bats third. They got the first 2 guys out. He came up, hit an absolute rope right to the center fielder. Could have been damaged. He's a fantastic player. So I wouldn't be surprised if they put him on. And some people hate that, but that's baseball. That's how it goes. He's a great player. You got to respect his ability, and if you walk him, you walk him.
No, Roca's got real tools. I mean, he's kind of if we're gonna pick a pro prospect here in the LA City section, there's a few really good players. Charlie Roca's the only one I think that has a legit shot at getting drafted out of high school. The tools to me kind of remind me of a Troy Tulowitzki, a big body, a good strong arm, real fluid motion to him. I mean, the kid's one of the most feared hitters here in the city, so I can't wait to see him play at Dodger Stadium. And like I mentioned, what's Carson going to do? He comes up with a couple men on. If you've got a base open, I'd be very surprised if they pitch to him in the right situation. Charlie Roca and Verdugo Hills and Carson, it's going to be a great one.
And previewing that game, Verdugo Hills all year, Nick Masumoto has been a fantastic pitcher for them. Today against Taft, he goes the distance.
Right.
It's a complete game, allows 1 run in the 7th inning. And besides that, he was no hit ball through 4 innings. I think he was fantastic. He's not going to be available for Verdugo Hills, so it's going to be a backup pitcher for them. Carson, we didn't see Jaja Bellinger today. We did see 3 pitchers, but they're going to have options, whereas
right.
Verdugo Hills, they're a little short on options. So I think the pitching matchup for sure favors Carson, and we'll see if the Verdugo bats come to play because they're going to need to score some runs because I think they're going to need to help their pitcher, whoever gets the start. Masumoto, if he was getting the start, I'd pick Verdugo Hills, but without him, I think it's going to be a tough task.
Yeah, like you say, Carson has choices. Eric Herrera stayed under the pitch limit here, so he can throw on Saturday. As you mentioned, Jaja Bellinger, he can also throw. Like, just flexibility. It's a lot easier if you have options as a manager. If you don't have to be forced into one thing or another. For Verdugo, they got a really good 3-4 guys on that baseball team. Aside from that, I wonder how deep they are, what the depth situation is over there. Carson is a little bit deeper. I've got them winning this game. I mean, I had Taft beating Verdugo, and I rue the pick already, but I think I've got Carson winning this game just because they're more complete. I think there's more depth, but dude, do not count out that lineup at Verdugo. They can score runs in bunches, and they will hurt you if you make mistakes.
I have Carson as well. X factor in the game, though, for Verdugo Hills, I think Matt Goki needs to have a huge game, because what happens when Charlie Roca gets walked, who's up next? It's a catcher, Matt Goki, and we've seen Carson intentionally walked Roca earlier this year. What happened? Goki came up, ripped a 2-run homer. Sometimes he's not been as fortunate in situations. Roca gets walked and he gets out. He's going to have opportunities like he has all season, and we'll see if he can make Carson pay again. But we each picked the Colts at the beginning of the playoffs, so you're going to stay true to that. I am as well. We have Carson winning at Dodger Stadium, but we'll see if Verdugo Hills can put up a fight. It's time now to talk Open Division Baseball. Alex, you were at both semifinals yesterday. We're going to have a Birmingham El Camino Real City Open Division Championship at Dodger Stadium. But before we discuss all of that, the predictions from you for the Open Division.
Dude,
undefeated.
Yeah, man.
Incredible. You're the man.
Keep patting me on the back.
Yeah,
it feels really good. Thank you very much.
To pick all those games. So what were there? There were 4 first-round games and then 4 second-round games and the 2 semifinals. So that's 10-0 right now. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I think I might be 5-5. I might be even 4-6.
Yeah, it's okay.
So
it's fine. You can't win them all. You can't
but
win them all.
I'm setting you up. I picked D1 right? Give me a little.
Yeah, no,
there.
that's true. Right. Sorry, everybody. Connor did a very good job picking D1. Carson did Verdugo. Yes, Connor did a great job.
But Alex deserves all the credit for the
Thank
Open
you.
Division.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Yeah, no, I mean the players did the good jobs. They went out and won those ball games. I just picked the teams that I thought were the hottest, that were the most complete, and really it was just kind of a gut reaction. I looked at the matchup and I thought, I like this team. You know, it wasn't so much I'm going to dive through the stats and look at the matchups. I saw all these teams play, and I took a look at each matchup and I thought, okay, which team do I have the most confidence in winning? And we've got Birmingham and El Camino. No matter what was going to happen in the semifinals, we were going to have an all-West Valley League championship. Birmingham and El Camino, I kind of thought, to me, that was the one I wanted to see most. Now, Elko and Chatsworth would have been a ton of fun just because those two were rivals, but I really like Birmingham. They're really, really deep.
So looking at yesterday's games, Alex, for El Camino Real, they got some run support early for Brian Golnick, and that's all they needed. They win 4-0. What were some takeaways from that game for you? Golnick, remember, can't go now in the championship because he was over the pitch count.
Yeah, Golnick left it all out on the field and left it all in the trash can. His teammates, when I went down to the dugout, could not wait to tell me about his projectile vomits in between innings. The kid's an absolute gamer.
I didn't even know
that.
that.
Yeah. So he's really sick, actually, and the kid's an absolute gamer. Yeah, so Coach Leinhardt was telling me, he said he was sick earlier in the week. He was telling
warrior.
Yeah, an absolute warrior. He was saying, we sent him home from practice because he looked so bad, and he comes into this ball game, and you don't prepare the same way every time. You're sick. You got to battle through a lot, and dude went out and absolutely shoved. So for me, the takeaway for Brian Golnick is I knew he was a gamer. I knew he was one of kind of the best pitchers here in the city section, but to go out like that, man. I mean, it's not a lot of fun to pitch when you're sick, but he just said, I had to forget it. I had to trust my defense. I had to just go out there and throw. The takeaway from this game is he got them there. But now they've got to lean on some of their other guys. Golnick's been the #1 arm in El Camino this whole season. Now they got to lean on somebody else. Is it Adam Christopher? We'll see. Jack Wisden also might get the ball. There's a lot of guys. Joey Klein's thrown before. A lot of guys could get the ball here in this championship game. But the takeaway, Brian Golnick, absolute gutting this one out, no pun intended.
Great, incredible performance from him. And then on the other side, Birmingham, they start the game with one pitcher, Yanez, I believe, and it doesn't really go well for him. In comes Albert Garcia, and he goes the distance.
Yeah.
He allows 2 runs, although technically they weren't charged to him. Throws 7 innings, and Birmingham beats Chatsworth 3-2. That game was a little bit closer than that first game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Birmingham El Camino Real in the championship, but just for the people who weren't abreast of what happened there, takeaways.
Yeah, so Armando Yanez got the ball to start the game yesterday against Chatsworth. Didn't really have his #1 stuff, didn't have his best stuff out there. Walked the first hitter, I think gave up a hit, then walked another one. All of a sudden a run comes in, there's a couple men on. Coach Moore, you know what? I've seen enough. I can save him. If I pull him now, I can save him for Saturday. I'm going to go get him. I'm going to go to my man, Albert Garcia. And Garcia was awesome. I mean, it wasn't without a fair share of some ups and downs, but once he settled in, Chatsworth did not score a run the rest of the game. Albert Garcia really gutting that one out. And for Chatsworth, Gabe Adjacaro on the other side was sharp. You know, it's really tough when you see both these teams. They are both ready, they're both willing, and they're both good enough to go play at Dodger Stadium. Only one of them can go. Birmingham was just the team that had a little bit extra juice. They got some timely hits. Johnny Tincher absolutely smoked a double down into the gap there in left center and then came around to score. So big players make big-time plays in big games, and that's what we saw from Birmingham.
Adjacaro will be back next year, so, you know, get a loss.
Yeah,
in
no
USC
shame.
this
Yeah,
year.
no shame.
He'll
be
get
back.
redemption. And I saw Eric Sondheimer tweet out, Chatsworth had a tremendous season because they lost a ton of seniors last year. For them to get a bye and then make the last four again, it's a great achievement for them. So I'll second that. I agree with that. I think they had a fantastic season, and, you know, you lose by one run in the semifinal. Sometimes that's the way it goes.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Kaiser. I mean, it's tough to come into a new program when they lose a legendary head coach like Tom Usborne. For Kaiser to come in, establish his own kind of program, build the trust with those players, and then just get into play. I mean, Chatsworth had a ton of fun. I saw Austin Correa walked a couple of times. He gets on first. The first thing he does when he drops the bat is he's screaming and pointing towards that dugout. So that team was really fired up. They wanted to win this game. I think they're going to be right back. Maybe we don't play here. Maybe we play at C-Center somewhere else. But the semifinals, Chatsworth, they're going to be right here. Kaiser's got the program headed in the absolute right direction. Really, really good things we saw at Chatsworth. But the story yesterday was all Birmingham, and I'm really excited to see Saturday.
All right, prediction time. So you have to stick with Birmingham, right?
Oh, dude, I got to let it ride, man. Birmingham. I mean, I hate to pick a winner in this game. I really wish I could just kind of bow out, but that's the coward's way. I can't. I got to stick with my pick. Birmingham over El Camino Real, as much as I'd rather not pick anything. I just think when it comes to depth, they still have DJ Virginia that they can throw on Saturday. I'm a little bit less sure about who throws for El Camino. I'm guessing it's going to be Adam Christopher, but we really don't know. I'm thinking Birmingham's just got a little bit more depth and more of a sure, not a sure thing, but more security when it comes to throwing the senior out there with Virginia instead of having to give the ball to a sophomore, even though Christopher's been dominant for a lot of the outings. I like Birmingham in this game just because I think the depth is there and they've got some good senior leadership.
From what we've seen, I should probably agree with you.
But hey, man,
where's the fun there?
El Camino beat them twice earlier this year,
Yep.
so, you know, we've...
But hey, how did that help Cleveland? You know?
It did not.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna say El Camino Real though. Give me the Conquistadors 8-7 over the Patriots.
8-7. We're gonna see a lot of runs.
Scoring.
A lot of runs. All right.
The premier pitchers for the two teams aren't eligible. 8-7. El Camino Real finds a way, kind of like those early West Valley League games between those two where both teams scored a ton of runs. But, I mean, hey, why listen to me when this guy's Mr. Undefeated over here?
Hey, man, you know, I'm saying Birmingham 5-4. I think it's going to be a little bit less, just a little bit lower scoring. Not too many runs are going to be scored in this game. I think the pitching's going to show up. But in the later innings, look for some runs to be scored. I think Virginia and Christopher, if they start, I'm not exactly sure. But if they start, I would expect the first couple innings to go scoreless. And then once the bullpen and the emotions and guys start kind of getting worn down, then you're going to start to see some more runs scored. So give me 5-4.
All right, Alex, you're 10-0. If you guess the score correct as well in the championship game, go to 11-0 and get that score right in the title game.
Yeah, I want you to make me a throne.
Yeah, I'll bow down to you on the
Throne out of beer
season
boxes.
wrap-up
Make me a crown.
podcast or something.
Please.
What a season it's been for him. For my sake, I kind of need El Camino Real to win. So
hey, that's all right,
Conquistadors,
man.
if you're
Credit to the
watching
players.
this.
Credit to the players. Credit to the fans. I don't do anything but just pick the games. But if I do get it right, I will expect you to make me a throne of beer.
All right, there we have it. That will do it for the championship podcast. Alex Gar, Connor Morissette, Dodger Stadium up next. See you next time.